1996 Wills World Cup final. Good evening to you and welcome to the highlights of Australia versus Sri Lanka in the 1996 Wills World Cup final from the Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. Over the last 5 weeks here on Sky Sports, we've brought you action from 33 of the 34 games played in this 6th World Cup. Well, this is the final chapter. Now, overnight, there was a considerable amount of rain, but the ground staff did a good job in clearing up, which meant that there was a prompt start. At the toss, Arjuna Ranatunga was the successful captain, and despite the fact that no one has ever won a World Cup batting last, he opted to put the Australians in. These were the two teams. Australia sticking to the same 11 that won that nail-biting semi-final against the West Indies, with Mark Waugh needing 52 to overtake Tendulkar and become the leading run scorer in the tournament. Sri Lanka too, unchanged, banking on their prolific batsmen to chase any total that their bowlers may concede in the first half of the match. So let's cross now to Lahore and join the action in the first over with Mark Taylor on strike.
We have Taylor and Mark Waugh about to face Vikramasinghe and Chaminda Vaas. Two bowlers who've done very well for Sri Lanka in this competition. Chaminda Vaas, I think, is very good. He's had a few sessions with Dennis Lillee, straightening out one or two things. That has benefited him, but he's a good natural pace bowler. And Mark Taylor will be facing the first ball. Has had quite a good series, India 59 and Zimbabwe 34, but not quite as good as the man at the other end, Mark Waugh. Mark Waugh missed out against West Indies in that very exciting game at Chandigarh. Tendulkar, Lara, Mark Waugh have been the three stars as far as the batting goes. And his career in limited overs internationals pushing up towards 4,000 runs. 130, 126, 110, and all of them very, very good innings. First ball of the World Cup final. Mojo Vikramasinghe, he's a fast medium, I suppose. I've seen him bowl in quite sharp fashion out in Australia. Depends a little bit on the pitch, but I had the feeling when I had a look at the strip that there'd be a bit of pace and bounce there, a bit more than on some of the other pitches we've seen. Well, that'll give us an idea of the pace of the outfield. The rope is in well away from the hoardings. Oh, that didn't look bad.
Well, a good effort, but perhaps Asanka Kurusina left it till the very end, wasn't able to get the ball back within the boundary. And Mark Taylor, who played so positively against the Indians and against Zimbabwe, once again playing a very, very positive shot. That foot right to the pitch of the ball, and the bat coming through very nicely.
Right-hand, left-hand combination poses problems for bowlers. Doesn't matter how good they are, they just have to change their line and sometimes their length as well. And these two have done the job, not just in these matches, but also in other matches for Australia. It's finding it a little bit disconcerting for the bowlers. 6 from that first over. Australia on their way. It's a nice setting here, the Gaddafi Stadium. If anyone's going to swing the ball, it'll be Chaminda Vaas, who's turned in some excellent performances in this competition.
He's also used the angle to bowl across to the right-hander very well. Kept the batsman guessing.
And that's perfectly illustrated with that ball. He speared it across and had the batsman playing away through gully. They've always been difficult, these left-armers, over the wicket to right-handers. Some of them cut the ball away, some of them actually swing it away, which is difficult to do. But they certainly pose problems. Some batsmen of international standard have even had to change their batting styles to accommodate them.
And there is that natural outswinger that the left-hander bowls. That's the one that right-handers find more difficult to look out for.
Taylor's in form with both the cover drive and the pull shot.
Well, Taylor's obviously got a hang of the wicket very quickly, because while the earlier over saw him play the drive, this time he's picked the bounce very early and pulled it away for a boundary. It's very important for batsmen to get a measure of the wicket very quickly.
The 3 boundaries that have been hit, a very good indication that this could be a high-scoring game if the players play to their potential and to the way the pitch looks.
Yes, it does look like a very good batting wicket. The pace is there, and there's a lot of even bounce as well, and which will only mean that there's going to be a lot of hard work for the bowlers. They really won't get much help from this wicket. And if the batsman has to get out, it'll be only because he's over-ambitious.
Not only does the outfield look fast and relatively unaffected by the rain, which is very heavy, at about 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock this morning. There's lightning coming through my window and a bit of thunder as well. It wasn't quite what we wanted to hear. Of the 22 on the board so far, Taylor has 12. Take a single to take it along to 23 for no wicket off 5. Beautiful stroke. Played with delightful ease. Really only just helped it around, didn't smash it.
Yes, he picked it up very early. He picked it up as the one that Chaminda was angles across to the right-hander, but it was the ball coming into the left-hander, and he just helped it along. Not too much of power in it, just a little bit of guidance as far as the direction is concerned. And it's another boundary to Mark Taylor. He really is batting with a lot more confidence.
That's a good shot. Well, Taylor's in the mood, and it's now gone on to 31 for no wicket. 6 overs have gone through. I think he likes the pitch, that's the first thing. Good footwork. Footwork's been excellent. Again, that comes from a touch of confidence. Mark Taylor's moving along very smoothly. He's on 22. Mark Waugh on 12. And in the commentary box now, Ian Chappell. Alongside him will be Geoffrey Boycott.
Thanks, Richie, and hello to all of our viewers. Very good start for Australia. In the air and straight down Jayasuriya's throat. So that's a terrific breakthrough for Sri Lanka. Mark Waugh, as I mentioned before play started, if he bats for a reasonable amount of time, Australia are always going to set a big target. So that's a blow for Australia and a boost for Sri Lanka.
Yes, I think any early wicket's a good wicket, but this one in particular is a huge one for Sri Lanka. Very quick scoring batsman, elegant player, Mark Waugh, and being in top form. So they'll think they've got the biggest wicket they could get. 36 for 1, Australia.
Ricky Ponting coming in at number 3, has 2 centuries to his name at this level. And one of them is against Sri Lanka, made at the MCG on the 9th of January this year. That's the 123 you see there. He came in, and Australia were, well, they weren't in great strife when he came in, but they lost a couple of wickets. He played extremely well. His other 100 was against the West Indies at Jaipur. Plays pace bowling very well, Ricky Ponting. Runs quickly. And he comes in at the fall of Mark Waugh's wicket. Mark Waugh looking at the pitch as he walked off, as though the ball didn't quite come on to him.
I just think it's one of those balls that you flip at and get there a little bit too early. When you do that, you tend to look at the pitch and blame anything but yourself, but I just think he got into that a little early and then just chipped it up in the air rather than waiting for the ball a little bit.
Well, it's been that sort of World Cup for this man, Jayasuriya. He seems to be the right man in the right place. When he hasn't been thrashing attacks all over the park, as in the semi-final when he missed out, got a naught, but suddenly Jayasuriya was bobbing up, throwing the stumps down, taking catches and getting wickets, and he was awarded the trophy, the Audi, for the most valuable player of the tournament. So it's been one of those sorts of tournaments where he just seems to be in the right place at the right time. Sri Lanka will be hoping that his form is good this evening. And Chaminda Vaas asking the question. Umpire Shepherd says no.
Yes, I don't think there was any doubt about this. It moved off the seam. You see it pitching and going down leg side. Look where the keeper's going.
Excellent shot, bit of width there, and Chaminda Vaas really punished.
Yeah, that's an easy ball to hit. It's so wide, he just threw everything at it. Pitches on, running across, and bang. He's got to keep it fairly straight and tuck up the right-handers a little bit.
Muralidharan, I guess he'll be looking forward to this contest, as have all the Sri Lankan players. They've said ever since their tour of Australia that they want a crack at Australia on the subcontinent. Well, they've got their wish and they've got it in the final. Let's see if they're good enough now to back up that wish.
Didn't time that particularly well, Ricky Ponting, but you could see from the type of stroke that anything with width, he just threw the bat at it. I still feel it's so important the spinners aren't out of the attack for too long. If the spinners can get it to turn, they'll be a vital factor for Sri Lanka.
That might be the problem for them, Jeffrey. I'm not sure it's going to turn too much out there. And wide called by umpire Buckner. He's a good bowler, Wickramasinghe, but he's a bit inconsistent. He bowls some good deliveries, but unfortunately too many bad ones thrown in.
Yes, you can get away with an odd one down leg side like this in a test match, but his accuracy for one-day cricket just lets him down a bit. He was the same in the semi-final. He was just not quite as good as Vaas at the other end. That's
Beautifully hit, just inside the rope. Lovely timing, and brings up the 50 for Australia. To Mark Taylor, 11 to Ricky Ponting. Ponting with a couple of boundaries and looking particularly aggressive. Taylor also, he tends to set the pattern in the Australian team, and he leads by example. He's come out in a very aggressive frame of mind. Shaminda Vas is going to continue. Might be time for a change at the other end. That's at the college end. That's why the man has been put back. Gurusingha, now he threatened, and it's cost Sri Lanka a run. Shouldn't be threatening from 70 metres, you should be throwing the ball in.
Yeah, not good that. He did a nice pick-up, one-handed, and then he forgot to let the ball go. Just trying to bluff the batsman. There he is, you see, took an extra step to get on balance, and it was all they needed. They sprinted for another run.
Oh, that's gone. 6 it is, the first one of this World Cup final.
Well, this was short. Easy to hit, and he smacked it out of the ground. I mean, that was short of a length. I've no doubt in my mind they're going to have to bowl a spinner. That's halfway down the pitch. That they've got to change the tempo for the Australians. They've got seamers coming at either end, and they're just hitting through the ball when it's up, standing back and pulling it. And you've got to make them think a bit differently. You've got to get there.
Too short.
Well, it's so easy for the Australians. Flat pitch in good touch. Any shortness of length or width, the ball just sits up nicely to be belted. And there it is. It pitches outside off stump, got a little bit wider, probably half a yard, 2/3 of a yard too short, and he just smacked it. I don't think the bowlers will have to air too much in line or length on this pitch. Bowlers of either side, because it's a very good batting surface.
Good change of pace. Mark Taylor has played twice on this ground previously, scored half centuries on both occasions. It's obviously a pitch that he likes, and has a strike rate today of almost 87. That is Mark Taylor's record at Lahore. 56 his best against South Africa. That was a triangular tournament, South Africa, Australia and Pakistan in 94-95. And that includes today's innings. Nicely placed. Guru's got a hand on it. Creates a long chase for Aravinda de Silva. Still gets to the boundary. It's 72 for 1.
Well, short of the length again. I think there are too many balls that he's short. Better off just pitching it up a little bit more and making the batsman drive you off the front foot.
The runs coming very quickly for Australia, probably too quickly for Sri Lanka's liking. And it does appear that Muralidharan was offered the other end by the skipper, but after a bit of a chat, he's decided that he prefers the pavilion end, and I think that's a wise decision by the off-spinner. He really needs to do something, preferably get a wicket, and I think Mark Taylor would be the one they'd want to get out of the way at the moment.
Economy rate, not bad at all. But I think more than anything, he could do to turn a couple early. Just put a little bit of suspicion in the Australian batsman's mind. His first over, if he can get one to really spin, just makes the batsman a little bit more careful, a little more wary of his shot playing. Well, that turned a little bit from wide of off stump. But when he gets loose and fingers get warmed up, I'd be interested to just see whether he really rips it.
Singer with the chase.
Well, he may be laughing, but I don't think the bowler would have been if they'd have got a third run. It was a really sloppy fielding. Watch this. Dives down, can't get the ball in his hand. Ooh. It's a bit too wide, is that? Much too wide. I know it's spinning a little bit, but the batsman can easily go inside out. He'll give him too much width. Good run in.
.77 for 1. Shane Lee not playing in this World Cup final, but he's getting the treatment. Australia 78 for 1 after 14 overs. In the commentary position now, Ravi Shastri, and with him, Tony Greig.
Mark Taylor just 2 runs away from 3,000 one-day international runs. He'll be the 7th Australian to achieve that feat. In the air, and that'll be it. It's running down towards the boundary. That's very well timed. A good shot. Into the fence it goes. Mark Taylor's looking in good form here. So it's the 50 partnership, and a milestone for Mark Taylor as well.
Well, he picked his spot here, Mark Taylor, but this is a superb piece of timing. Foot right to the pitch of the ball, and once he saw that the ball really wasn't there, went through with a shot, no half measures, and over mid-wicket for 4.
And that's his half century. So that's very well played. Under pressure, Mark Taylor, the captain, has come to the party. Well, the Australians on target, it seems to me, for around about 280 at the moment. And that's nicely played by Taylor. He's whipped that one away on the onside. They're finding the gaps very well, this Australian side. This is a big ground, very hard to protect. Lots of gaps out there, and Mark Taylor at the moment is playing a gem of an innings. He's lifted the rate when it was required. When they got bogged down a bit, he's played some good pull shots, and in between those, he's knocked it away into the gaps. Straight to mid on that time.
And just like Tony Greig said, it's a big ground, very important that Ranatunga gets his field placings right. Because as the game progresses, you'll see a lot of 1s and 2s being run.
So Ricky Ponting having a little look around. There's a deep mid-wicket for him, a deep square leg, and a sweeper on the offside as well. He's playing very straight. This will be close, just wide of the stumps. They needed a direct hit there. That makes the difference. If you can hit those stumps direct, you've got a chance of a run out when it's tight. Let's have another look at the replay.
Well, yeah, Ricky Ponting running with the shot, but what he didn't realize, the ball went too quickly to mid-on, and had that fielder hit the stumps, Ricky Ponting would have definitely been out.
Yes, it makes such a difference. Taylor has 53 or 54 balls, and that's well played, well fielded. Played away again to the right of the fieldsman. Mahanama is the man there. Good field.
Well, he's one of the best fielders in the Sri Lankan team. And this is the kind of fielding that can lift the spirits of the other players.
And there's Jayasuriya, that's a change. And probably he's looking to Jayasuriya to put the brakes and crawl back into this game.
Now, it's interesting that he's taken Murali Dhiran out of the attack, and he was bowling pretty well. I thought the best of the two spinners so far. Jayasuriya, he's going to spin the ball back into the left-hander. Mark Taylor won't mind that too much. He's going over the wicket to Taylor, who's having a look down towards square leg and deep mid-wicket. They've got that side of the field very well covered. If you can cover it, it's very big ground. So Jayasuriya, who's a little flatter, doesn't spin it quite so much, is on his way now. This is his first ball. Outside off stump, and that one cut away. Taylor's not happy with himself. As he ran away there, his head went back. He wanted to get that one into the gap. He hit it straight to the fieldsman.
A lot of gaps out here on this large Gaddafi stadium, and the Sri Lankans would have to cut the singles or end the twos as much as possible, because every run given away here would be a run they'll have to make.
Now this is quite interesting. Jayasuriya adopting the Murali Dhiran tactic. He's decided to stay left arm over the wicket to the right hander. Again, requires that he bowls very straight. It's a positive move though. So Ponting on strike. Well, that's way down the leg side, and it's been missed by the keeper as well. It was that wide. It's gone all the way to the fence for 4 wides. Oh, that's a dreadful delivery.
Extremely poor delivery by Jayasuriya at that time. Probably trying to give the ball a little bit of air and slipping off his hand, beating Kaluwithana completely way down the leg side.
The other thing about that ball, you can see how it's skidded away straight. And that is anguish written all over Jayasuriya's face.
Jayasuriya, who was used as a spinner in those 2 games as well, none for 37 and no wicket for 57 from 8.
Yes, the Sri Lankan spinners today have not been able to exert the pressure on the Australian batsmen as they did in the semi-final against India, where on a big turning pitch. And also that they bowled well and spun the ball against England, who they knocked out in the quarter-finals. This pitch looks quite slow, and it's turned so slowly that the batsmen have had time to adjust. Class players like the Australians have had no problems.
We got one there. Fielder's quick to come around, and it's one for 134. 23 gone. Got out your pen and pencil and a bit of paper and drawn the line. Couldn't have been better to split those 2 men.
Well, he's played beautifully all day. He's not had to show too much aggression because his timing and placement have been excellent. He's just played the ball basically where he's wanted all day.
It was a quicker ball. He saw him coming, bowled it well, and then fumble to bring up the 100 partnership between Mark Taylor and Ricky Ponting.
Yes, when you keep getting an odd misfeel like that, it doesn't do the confidence of everybody in the team a lot of good.
It's in the air. And it's gone. We've got it. Taylor has gone. He's swept. And Jayasuriya has kept his head there running around and taken a very good catch. He had quite a distance to go. Picked it right from the moment it left Taylor's bat, and that's 2 down, 137 on the board.
Well, that's the sort of mistake that Sri Lanka needed. Change of bowling, a 4th spinner in the game, the top edge. Not too difficult catch, just had to keep his nerve while the ball was in the air. And they've got a little bit of luck. It's been a long time coming. Lovely innings by Mark Taylor. Played beautifully in comfort. 137 for 2.
Steve Waugh, the new batsman, coming in to fall at Mark Taylor's wicket. De Silva to bowl. Ponting's the man taking a strike. And this is the way Mark Taylor perished.
Well, it's about the only false shot that Mark Taylor's played. He's been in such good touch. And it came as a big surprise. A little bit of an edge, half played for, and half a little bit of an edge, but it brings up 2 more runs for Australia. And you get the impression on this pitch that it's the batsman that's got to make a mistake. There's not too many snakes in the pitch.
That catch by Jayasuriya was a welcome turnaround for Sri Lanka, because their fielding had just slipped a little bit. And even in the end, he had to stretch for it. He'd made ground to it. I just wondered if he'd slipped on some slightly greasy surface out there from the overnight rain. Wasn't able to get going, and then finally stretched out for it. Steve Waugh's off the mark straight away. 141 for 2.
And he's bowled him. A little bit of turn there, so Aravinda De Silva doing exactly the job that his captain brought him on for. Get some wickets.
And Ricky Ponting, who's also played well, deceived by that one from Aravinda De Silva. How often we've seen in the limited overs game batsmen who are well set, trying to run the ball down to third man, and this time completely missing it. Ball turning a little bit, and look at Aravinda De Silva. No wonder he's happy, because he's got an important wicket. Australia 152 for...
And to let the game just roll along. He's always putting it to the opposition, seeing if the opposition are prepared to be flexible or change their tactics. So he sent in Shane Warne. 24 of 14 deliveries against New Zealand. Played an important role there as a pinch hitter. Hit a huge 6 in that 24 against New Zealand. Hasn't really had to do much with the bat apart from that game. But with the spinners on, he is a good hitter against the spinners. And it'll be interesting to see if Arjuna answers this tactic with a little bit of pace. Perhaps an over or 2 from Chaminda Vas. Aravinda has been spot on target. And getting that Yorker right in the block hole. Just 4 men inside the circle for Warne. 3 out on the onside, 2 on the off. And the pinch hitter's getting cute now to get off the mark. It's 153 for 3. Just a few words from the skipper. There's a man at long on. Just wondering about your thoughts, Sonny, former opening batsman, not quite in the same style as Kalu Wadharana or Jayasuriya, but easier to go for the bowling when you're setting the target rather than chasing a known target?
Well, I think if you're Kalu Wadharana or Jayasuriya, it really should make no difference either way. But yes, it does make a difference if you're batting first and you don't have a target to chase. Then there's nothing at the back of your mind that you've got to maintain a certain run rate or try and score of every delivery. You can afford to play the odd dot ball. But when you're chasing, then every dot ball adds to the mental pressure. It preys on your mind that you might just have let your side down by playing a couple of dot balls. So batting first always is easier, even for the pinch hitters.
Steve Waugh just with a bit of advice there for Shane Warne. Probably telling him, don't just swing at everything willy-nilly, be a bit choosy. And he's gone, I think. Very quick piece of work there from Kalu Witharana. He had him off quickly.
Well, that was bowled down the leg side. I think the Sri Lankans had it planned that in case Shane Warne does give the charge, they should bowl down the leg side, and there you are. Clearly the bat has not gone down. Super work there by Kalu Witharana. The Sri Lankans need to be given credit for planning it, although this time Shane Warne was playing a defensive shot. Australia 156 for 4. And the crowd certainly appreciating the work done by Kalu Witharana. The Sri Lankan flags there. We know that there's been a special charter flight which has come down. Very quick, very good work there by Kalu Witharana. Australia 156 for 4.
And the Australians just allowing Sri Lanka back into this game. 3 wickets falling fairly quickly. One of them a pinch hitter, Shane Warne. Stuart Law, who played such an important innings in the semi-final, really the man who got Australia here. He didn't get the Man of the Match award, but without Stuart Law's 72 there, Australia really could not have set the West Indies a target that would have mattered. And then Shane Warne's 4 wickets also wouldn't have done much. So an important innings from Stuart Law in that semi-final. Murali Dhiran.
Well, there you are, Muralitharan just bowling a little bit down the leg side. I think it was more in anticipation of Shane Warne giving him the charge. They must have planned that, but Shane Warne didn't quite give him the charge. But he overbalanced, and Ramesh Kalu Witharana, anticipating, was right there and had the bails off in a flash.
We keep talking about what is a manageable target. Ranjit, you've spent a lot of time with the Sri Lankans recently. What do you think that their expectations are?
I reckon the Sri Lankans are quite prepared to look at something like around 270, but I'm sure they would be happy around 250.
They certainly don't fear anybody these days, do they, in the competition?
The batting has come off, and they've got a lot of experience and skill, and I think the confidence they've gained since returning from Australia, I think, has stood them in extremely good stead.
And they've really wanted this, haven't they? They've wanted Australia, another crack at Australia after that tour.
Yes, I think they felt that they deserve another crack at Australia, since they felt that they should have had Australia probably in the Benson and Hedges final, and this probably is the glorious opportunity they've been given.
We've been watching them now for nearly a couple of hours. Early on, I thought there might have been signs, a little bit of tension out there. Do you feel they're pretty comfortable now?
Yes, and I think the Sri Lankans had developed a great deal of resilience during the last few months, and this certainly has come to the fore here. They've really come back from a rather tight situation and come back sneaking into the game.
In the air. And well taken. A well-judged catch. Aravinda de Silva, who's already taken 2 wickets, now takes a good catch.
That's certainly a great blow for Sri Lanka. The top edge by Steve Waugh and Aravinda de Silva running across, taking a very good judged catch, keeping his eyes on the ball all the time and catching it to a nicety. Is he not delighted?
and 70 for 5. Well, this final has really come alive here in Lahore, Pakistan. Michael Bevan, the left-hander, at the crease. Came in to bat against the West Indies without much form, mainly because he hadn't had a lot of hits. Played well in that match. They'll need to play well again. There's a big wicket getting rid of Steve Waugh. He's been such a good player in all forms of cricket for Australia in that middle order. Michael Bevan, terrific record. And you see there that he didn't have to do much until that semi-final against the West Indies. He has with him Stuart Law, the man who also played well against the West Indies. And Arjuna Ranatunga going on the attack, has a slip in. That's good captaincy. And 4 men in, saving the single.
Two new men at the wicket. Sri Lanka certainly have their tails up, and Muralidharan now getting his act together. He's been getting the prodigious turn he's been reputed to have.
Bevan off the mark. That was a good delivery from Dharamasena. Got rid of Steve Waugh, just catching the front edge. And that's a very well judged catch. Not so easy when you're on the full run to catch them. The eyes are just bobbing up and down a little bit. Aravinda de Silva didn't have enough time to get there and get set. That's a good catch when you're running almost flat out.
It just gives you a good idea of the way the run rate has gone down. To have a look at that graph. From round about 20 overs, it has gone down and down and down. At one stage, the Australians were scoring 6 and over. Then it got down to about 5.5. And then all of a sudden, it went down below 5. That was in the 30th over. And it's never got back up to 5 since then.
Australia 189 for 5. Really, if they have to achieve their target of 250, they'll need a couple of good overs at this stage. Dharamasena in his last over to Law. And that's smashed away over square leg and over the boundary line. 6 runs. That was a full toss from Dharamasena, and Stuart Law quick to pounce on that.
It was a hell of a hit because he clubbed it away just about perfectly square. Yep, nice strike.
Beautifully picked up by Law. In fact, it wasn't a full toss. I beg your pardon for that. Heaved over square leg. Now Stuart Law can put pressure on the bowler now, having picked up 6 runs of the first delivery. So really, if these two batsmen knock the ball around, there is 10 runs for the taking in this over. And it's funny what a couple of good overs can do. They'll have to hurry. An overthrow there from Roshan Mahanama, who is coming in quickly from cover, allowing the batsman to come back for a second run. So this really is a good over for Australia so far.
Very good cricket by Bevan. First of all, the little push on the offside, and then the quick turn. As soon as the ball went past, he was going to the non-striker's end.
And he's gone. Stuart Law trying to hit Jayasuriya over the cover field, but managing to get an outside edge and straight to the hands of the fielder at backward point, Aravinda de Silva. So yet another wicket gone. 202 for 6 Australia.
This is a big one for Sri Lanka. They've had a few big ones. 6 of them down now. And Stuart Law just aiming with a wristy stroke to take it away in the air. Quite deliberately hit there, but he didn't mean to hit it quite as fine as that. And it's now 202 for 6.
Well, with the Australians in real trouble at the moment at 202 for 6, to tell you more about it, it's going to be Tony Greig and with him Ian Chappell.
What a vital wicket that was, the last one. Australians have watched this delivery to Healy. Plays that away on the onside. He's a very good player in situations like this. He won't be affected. Yes, let's have another look at the wicket. Jayasuriya is the bowler, and of course that one just outside off stump. Stuart Law going for it. He gave it a bit of room actually, thick outside edge and straight to gully. Aravinda in the way.
Yes, Aravinda is another one who always seems to be in the action in this World Cup. Just enough turn there from Jayasuriya.
It's nicely driven, but they've got a sweeper back, so just one. Hasn't just been a turnaround. The Australians looked as if they were coasting there for a while. They were 137 for 1.
It's Jayasuriya just getting enough turn to catch the edge. And there's the reaction from the bowler on taking the wicket of Stuart Law.
Into the gap again, Healy. Straight away is scoring the runner ball, well fielded. Right alongside the bails. Australia 205 for 6.
Muralidharan has been brilliant in the field for Sri Lanka. Very quick to the ball and accurate with his returns.
Come on, lads, come on!
So there we are. Quite a big collapse there. They were looking really good for a while. Now Bevan's out there on 16. A lot depends on him. Healy has joined him. He's got 2. He's only faced 2 balls. Ball him! He's got him. He's tossed that one up in the air. Healy has been done. Neck and crop. That was magnificent bowling. He tossed it up in the air. It spun a little bit. And Healy really was lost. He seemed to be wandering around trying to hit the ball down the ground. And it's knocked back the leg stump.
Well, they say about spinners, you've got to beat the batsman in the air before you can beat him off the pitch. And this is a classic example. Aravinda de Silva beat him with flight. That is the perfect off-spinner's dismissal. Healy is gone, and Australia are 205 for 7.
What a World Cup he's having. Now that it's got down to the important matches, his experience is definitely beginning to tell. 3 for 24 off 6.1 overs, an economy rate of 3.89. More importantly, he's got those wickets.
Paul Rifle, the new batsman. And when you look at that scorecard, Australia's scorecard, you see the names De Silva and Jayasuriya all over the scorecard. Catches and wickets. And they really have been right in the thick of things in this World Cup.
Again, tossed up just outside off stump, trying to force him to drive on the offside.
Yes, this was a beautiful piece of bowling by Aravinda de Silva. New batsman in, tossed it up. Healy's eyes lit up, but that's beautifully bowled.
They'll be looking for the second here. Bevan touchdown, back he comes. He's very quick. He'll be home comfortably. Didn't even stretch.
Well, they picked their man. Fast bowler Wickramasinghe, not the best of fielders in the Sri Lankan side.
He's had a go at that one. It'll bounce down towards deep mid-wicket. And that time they'll settle for 1. So Bevan now gets a chance. Yes, he's really going to have a go now. I'm just trying to work out where I think he's going to hit this one. He loves playing it away on the onside for ones, but he might go straight down the ground. We saw him win a match for Australia, hitting the ball straight over low and straight over the top of the umpire's head. There's a bit of a gap for him there if he hits it nice and straight and flat. Having a glance down towards square leg. He's got inside out that one, and that's well played. That's very well played. Inside out, and he's whacked that one away down towards deep extra cover. Did it go all the way? Don't think so. Just short of the fence at deep extra cover.
He's very quick on his feet, Michael Bevan, and he times his moves extremely well. That one landing just a metre short. He doesn't give the bowler a real sign until it's too late for the bowler to do anything about it.
So 1 over to go. 233 for 7, Australia. They were put in by the Sri Lankans, and this is now going to be the last over. It's going to be bowled by Jayasuriya, and on strike at the moment is Michael Bevan. That's the outfield, which we reckon could end up getting a little bit of moisture onto it, a little bit of dew perhaps, although there is a bit of cloud cover around. So Jayasuriya, he'll be off the ground and strapping the pads on before too long.
Before he puts the pads on, Greggy?
Yeah, no doubt. Laced with a bit of porridge, I reckon. Here we go, last over. Once again, giving it room. That's well played. He's hit that one away square. Will the fielder gets to it? I don't think he will. That's very well played by Michael Bevan. Backing away again, smashing it square on the offside. It looks as if that's where he fancies himself most. There are 3 men back on the leg side, so this is what he decided to do.
He really is the best batsman in one-day cricket when it comes to scoring runs in the late overs. He finds a way to reach the boundaries. His first boundary was in that last over. Now he's managed to find a second one, and he's really got Arjuna Ranatunga thinking. He's made him change his tactics and bring an extra man across to the offside. Obviously the original idea for Sri Lanka was to dart them in at leg stump.
He's backed off again and tried to smash it away on the offside, but that is a better delivery right up there, followed him a little bit.
And they're telling the man at deep mid-off, Chaminda Vas, stop the twos.
1-2, well bowled. It's away down to mid-on. Guru Singer coming in there. So what can Paul Rifle do now?
Well, they were desperate to get Rifle on strike and get Bevan away, so I think that's a tribute to Bevan himself, because Paul Rifle is no slouch with the bat, but they obviously consider him a lot easier to shut down than Michael Bevan. If they can keep it under 250, I would think Sri Lanka would have to be delighted after the early situation, because Australia appeared to be heading for something like 290 and maybe even 300 if things went really well.
It's going to go over his head. It's just bounced into this hard surface, and they've ended up settling for 1. So 2 balls to go now.
Jayasuriya just gritting his teeth there. I think he felt he was a little unlucky that that one bounced over his head. He was desperate to keep Michael Bevan away from the strike in these last 2 deliveries. And they'll be keen to just let him get a 1 off this one.
He's played a clever little shot there and well fielded. I think that is Vikramasinghe there, diving away to his right. That is very well done.
Well, fortunately, he's a tall man. He was just able to dive and get an arm on it. It was very quick thinking from Michael Bevan. You could see a boundary coming up there. Oh, he just got a hand on it. Absolute desperation there from Vikramasinghe. That's a good effort.
So this is the last ball of the Australian innings. Rifle driving. They'll come back for the second. No, they won't. They're settling for 1. Arjuna's got it, and that's the end of that. So Australia 241 for 7, and I think that Arjuna Ranatunga will be very happy with that when one considers the start made by the Australians.
So Australia made 241 for 7 off their 50 overs on a pitch which certainly helped the spinners, but that was just the half of it really, because at 137 for 1 in the 27th over, they looked to be cruising to something like 270 plus. However, with Taylor and then Ponting getting out, everything changed, and these are the men that did it. The spinners, with De Silva and Jayasuriya the most involved, if not bowling then catching, and Muralitharan's figures very satisfactory and satisfying for him after all that no-balling row earlier in the year. Well, the history books will tell you that no side has ever won the Cup by batting last. After the break, we'll see if Sri Lanka could change all of that.
Jayasuriya will be facing. And Glenn McGrath has been given the new ball by Mark Taylor. And McGrath had a bit of a slump in the middle of this World Cup, but he came back well in the semi-final. McGrath has picked up Kalu Witharana in Australia a couple of times after taking a hammering from him, and he did it by pitching right up there, bowling him Yorkers right from the start of the innings. Fairly orthodox field to start with. They have the third man and the fine leg. Mark Taylor is at first slip, and then you have Mark Waugh in a short cover position. He's the second catching man. So nothing out of the ordinary with the field placings to start with. I guess it's a matter of Mark Taylor just waiting to see how these two play. Fine leg, and that's very well run. Jayasuriya back quickly.
Well, I know everybody is watching to see how he throws the bat at the ball, because that tends to be his style, but they score so quickly when they get in, and particularly him, that I think he can afford to just play reasonably sensibly for 2 or 3 overs, because if it's his day, he can take the game away from Australia very quickly. But I don't think there's any need to play like they did against India. Almost first couple of balls they play just slashing at
it. The Test century that he made in Adelaide seems to have made a huge difference to Jayasuriya. I think he looked upon himself as a hitter, somebody who could get you a quick 20 or 30 in the one-day game, and that seemed to be about the extent of his ambition. He played very, very well in Adelaide in a Test match. Started out aggressively, but then he had to work hard for a while, a bit more aggression. It was a very good Test century, and I think he realised that he's a much better player than he'd given himself credit for. Warren again. And it's slippery down there, and Jayasuriya takes advantage of it. Well done.
Well, that bit of a fumble by Shane Warne. Just looked when he got it in his hand that if he'd have thrown it straight over the stumps, Jayasuriya would have been struggling, but it wasn't a very good throw. He made a bit of a fumble, but then he didn't make it better with a very accurate throw. Just had to fetch it a little bit, did Ian Healy.
That's a good shot. Picked that up very quickly.
Well, it's just a short backlift, little bit of a flip with the bottom hand over the top, and the ball races away. And a shortish backlift, clips it, and it carries a long way, miles over mid-wicket. Super shot.
Jayasuriya faced the first over. He got 8. Now it's Kalu Witharana's turn. Both of them were out in the first over of the semi-final against India. And I guess if you're working on percentages, and you're talking about a couple of good players here, not just a couple of hitters, if you're working on the percentages, you figure that if they've missed out, if they've both missed out last time round, there's a fair chance that one of them is going to succeed this time.
Put it this way, if I was third man, I'd be a bit nervous. It might be coming my way.
be even more nervous if you felt that there's a bit of dew on the outfield and you know that the ball's going to be just that little bit more slippery when it gets to you at third man, and it's going to have a bit on it, Jeffrey.
I really think that he just could have an over or two. I don't think he needs to repeat what he did against India, going from the word go. He certainly doesn't want to get out, but I don't think they need to just go at it, bull at a gate, throw the bat at everything. Just pick the balls that you fancy.
That's the thing with Kalu, he fancies most of them.
Yeah, he was halfway going to have a go at that, and then he sort of changes his mind as it just swings a little bit off the pitch. Just sort of offered to go away. I think somebody like Fleming, who might swing it a bit, you've just got to give yourself an over or so and see if it's going to swing from him. Because if you start to strike him on the up, where the ball sets off and then it swings, it's not going to finish up in the same place as where it set off. So you just want to see what's happening before you go whacking it over the top.
That's one that he really likes. Anything that's slightly short. Here's a run. Jayasuriya may have been caught out of his ground, but it's turned out to be a bonus for Australia, and they've got 3. Michael Bevan was quick in reacting.
Well, this is a nice little bit of luck for Sri Lanka. A mistime shot, underside edge. Very quick feel in, half a chance. Caught somebody out. Yeah, he would have been out. That's lovely quick thinking. Just didn't hit the stumps and gave away runs. But it was worth a go, I think. An early wicket is always good to put the batting side on the back foot.
Well, Taylor has come up with some changes here in the field. No slip, a short fine leg, and he's got a short cover and a short mid-wicket of the 2 catching men. And there's a man out at deep backward square. The third man is quite wide. Oh, and he's going again. He could be dead here. Umpire Buckner is calling for the replay. He was back quickly. But gee whiz, that's taking it to the limits.
Well, it's dangerous that he ran, hoping the strength of McGrath's arm wasn't strong and wasn't accurate. A tall man, these fast bowlers have usually got good arms, and it's going to be tight whatever way. Oh, we need a better angle, I think. That's difficult for anybody to tell. But just a silly run. Oh.
Well, I've seen 1 or 2 guys hung on very flimsy evidence so far in this World Cup. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I don't see how you can give them out from head on when they're that close.
If the third umpire can give that out, then he's a brave man. If he gives it out, all Australia will be delighted.
And he has given him out. Well, I wouldn't like to be hung on that evidence. But on the other side of the coin, it wasn't a very smart run. Sri Lanka 12 for 1. Asanka Gurusinghe is the number 3 batsman for Sri Lanka. Well, it's been a lively 10 balls so far. Not quite sure what Jayasuriya was trying to prove with his running between wickets. Certainly it was fine when there was a misfield by Shane Warne. But Glenn McGrath has got a very strong arm, much stronger arm than Shane Warne, and it's not a long boundary.
They usually find in world cricket that the fast bowlers are very strong in the arm, and it's always dangerous to take them on.
And inside edge. Gurusinghe is off the mark in very fortunate circumstances.
Yeah, really good delivery there by Fleming. Ball coming back into the left-hander. Yeah, he just played outside it as well. It didn't Didn't come into him much, but just enough. Always used to the left-handers, the ball going across them. I always think when somebody like Fleming can bowl swingers into the left-handers, they can cause more problems.
Michael Bevan. And he's almost picked up a couple of run-outs, Bevan. He's very quick.
Yes, Guru Singh, who's been run out thrice in this competition, once again having a very narrow escape.
.23 for 1, Sri Lanka, after 5 overs. Fleming to continue at the pavilion end. A bit high, that one. In the commentary position now, Ravi Shastri with Tony Gregg.
Thanks, Ian. Let's have another look at this one. He's getting a ball to swing a little bit. And that's hit him right in the tummy. Have a look at the bounce here, going for the pull shot. Didn't bounce as much as he thought. And it ended up just bobbing down in front of him. 23 for 1, 5.1 overs. That's the run rate at the moment and the required run rate. Nothing in it at the moment. This is a huge battle on at the moment. Well, that's in the air. This is going to be out. Yes, he's got him. That's out caught. He's gone for the pull shot. That's very well bowled. A short delivery, and it's been pulled away and caught just behind square.
Well, this is big trouble for Sri Lanka. Kalu Vitarana is one of the players who normally gets them off to a flying start, but has looked uncomfortable out there today. This one hurrying on him, beating him a bit for pace, and in the end, Kalu Vitarana managing to only scoop it in the air. The safe hands at square leg of Michael Bevan. So big blow for Sri Lanka, 23 for 2.
Well, Aravinda De Silva was the man who played the gem of the knock for these Sri Lankans in that semi-final. Can he do it again tonight? He's already had a pretty good day, and he's got heaps of experience. This will present a nice challenge for him now. He'll have to settle things down here, while at the same time making sure he maintains his normal game, which is a pretty aggressive game in any event. That's his performance so far. At 66 against India. A magnificent innings. And this is the big one. A bit of swing here for Fleming. Oh, what a good shot to start with. Straight down the ground. He's hit that one away. Will it get to the fence? It'll be pretty close. Ward desperately diving over the rope there and pulling it back. That's very well fielded. Oh, what a good shot that was for starters.
This is the wicket of Kalu Vitarana. The ball hurrying onto him, not quite able to get hold of it. Getting it high on the blade, and Michael Bevan taking a simple catch at square leg.
Yes, it bounced a little bit too, and he got right underneath it, hit the splice of the bat. So tragedy here for the Sri Lankans. 2 down, their 2 little dynamos back in the pavilion. That's nicely played. He's hit that one to the gap at mid-wicket. It's running away down to the boundary. Stephen Waugh's after it. Big roar from this crowd. Couple of metres short of the fence. Waugh goes down. Up he gets again. In comes the throw. Flat on the bounce. Right over the bails. That's well thrown. Very good shot too.
Very strong on anything pitched up on leg stump. As Guru Singh, he moves across the stumps here, and really once the ball was in the slot, lovely piece of timing.
Just beginning to get a little damp on the surface. Oh, that's a good shot. He's whacked that away over the top of mid-on. 1 bounce and over the fence for 4. That was short, onto the back foot, and Aravinda De Silva timed it beautifully. That is a lovely shot.
Well, that's one of his favourite shots. Very quick on anything that's pitched short. And Momin Fleming pitched this one short here. He's got into position so quickly that he manages to hit it over mid-on. Wideish mid-on, 1 bounce into the fence.
Yes, Lots of timing in that one. Really made sure he middled it. Slow one. He's hit that beautifully. That's a magnificent shot. That will take the pressure off a bit. A slower delivery. He waited for it and smashed it through the onside.
Well, De Silva here gets into lovely position. He waited on that and was beautifully balanced when he played the shot. See him rolling his wrists here and finding the gap to perfection.
Time straight to Mark Waugh, fielding a short extra cover. (13 of 11 balls). Strike rate of 118.18. What a player he's been for Sri Lanka.
Very difficult man to contain when in full flow. He's got a very quick eye.
Again, on leg stump. Again, it's whacked away, and that'll go for 4. Yes, desperation down in the boundary there from McGrath. He'd gone a little square to try and cut off those lovely clip shots he's been playing. Full-length dive by him. Didn't quite get there.
Well, this is poor bowling by Damien Fleming. He's got the field on the offside. Here again, straying onto leg stump. The man at square leg is really square. And once Arvinder got this fine, it was 4 runs all the way. But Mark Taylor certainly won't be happy with Damien Fleming.
The man who did all the damage against the West Indies bowled very well at the latter part of the innings. He's going to be bowling from the pavilion end. So Shane Warne just about to mark out his run. 1 wicket to go for his 100. And look at that average and economy rate. He's done well.
Well, there was spin out there for the finger spinners when the Sri Lankans bowled. So there's no question about the fact that Shane Warne will get turned.
Just have a look at those figures, fantastic figures. 4 for 36 against the West Indies. That's the last match he played in. 2 for 52 against New Zealand. 4 for 34 against Zimbabwe. Oh, and that one down the leg side. It's off the toe of the bat. He tried to get it away fine and went through with his shot a bit quickly.
Well, this is a short ball from Warne first up, and look how quickly Arvinder goes to play the shot. He looks to paddle it away on the onside, but then the ball hitting the toe.
He's blasted that through the offside field. That's a beautiful shot. Very little room to move in. Onto the back foot, and he's hit it straight into the gap for 4. That'll do his confidence no end of good.
Well, this is a lovely shot from Arvinder De Silva. He's picked up the length quickly, waited on it, and then got the placement through the offside. Look how late he plays it, gets on top of it, and 4 runs moment it left the bat.
So a little bit of a change. Taylor had a little chat with his bowler. He's moved Mark Waugh a little bit squarer. He's closed up that square field. It's hardly there's hardly any room to move in that area. He's got a very strong field square of the wicket. Oh, and he's hit that one through the field as well. That's a magnificent shot by Ravinder again. He's playing a little blinder of an innings. What good form he's in.
Well, this really is an interesting shot because this is over-pitched by Warne. But Ravinder stayed on that back foot, and in fact, when he makes contact, the weight is on the back foot. He opens the face of the blade and again gets the placement absolutely right. Not an easy shot to play.
I don't think there's any doubt now who's getting the support out there from this Pakistan crowd. Flipper in the air. Oh, just short. Well, that really went quickly. But it bounced just in front of cover point. And it's Michael Bevan fielding almost dead square on the offside. 11 runs of this first over from Shane Warne so far. This is the last ball. Oh, and I think he might have nicked that.
There was a flipper, found the inside edge, came back a little bit, and certainly got a touch. Difficult chance, but Healy actually picked it and had his gloves in just about the right position. That's a good shot for 4. He waited for that to be up and smashed it away down the ground. This is the city of Lahore, and in the background, rapidly coming to the foreground, the lights in the stadium here, the Gaddafi Stadium. Very close to the shot of the day or night, whichever way you like to look at it.
And one can understand that look from Paul Rifle, because that ball was really not a bad ball at all. It was short of a good length on the off stump, and most batsmen would have been quite happy to have played at it defensively. But Arvind De Silva is in such fine form that he saw it early, moved into position early, opened the face of the bat, and had it screaming away for a boundary.
Placed that little bit wide of the man at short cover, and it's 4. Might have gone close to the fielder, but it went at a great pace. Timing is quite magnificent.
Well, this one was a half volley, but even half volleys need to be put away between the fielders, wide of the fielders. If there's a fielder on the boundary patrolling, and put there for just that eventuality. But Arvind De Silva leaning onto that shot very nicely.
And the finals lived up to the speculation that it could be a great match. The Australians starting off in tremendous style, then being pulled back. Sri Lanka fading at the start. And now with this partnership getting themselves into very good shape.
It's a nice little partnership developing between these two seasoned campaigners, De Silva and Guru Singh. They've got into the act and playing with a lot of sense, picking the right ones, not taking too many chances, and seeing that Sri Lanka gets back on the road. De Silva looking extremely good, middling every ball, picking the gaps with ease, and certainly things looking up for Sri Lanka. Guru Singh moving into play, Mark Waugh, bringing his front foot forward.
It's in the air. Well, it was catchable. And it got through him. He's a good fielder and he's taken some splendid catches so far. But he reckons that it was lost in the lights. He made good ground to it and then couldn't get his hands where the ball was.
Guru Singh coming down to loft Mark Waugh, and the fielder losing it in the lights, and a bit of a bad miss.
So that's the scenario. 147 of 30 overs is what is required. And that's the all-important run rate. 4.9, so still under 5 and over required. Nothing much in the comparison. So Warren to Guru Singh. Oh, he's hit that one down the ground. That's well played. A loose delivery. Confidently onto the back foot, over the top of mid-on for 4.
Well, he's belted this ball because it's short. He's had time to wait for it to pitch and turn and pick his spot. He's not been picking one very well, but that's short. And he's onto it like a flash. Whenever it's pitched up, he's had difficulty, but not when it's down there.
Yes, that was confidently played. Warne again, you could see he wasn't very happy with that delivery. He might slip him a flipper in a minute. Oh, he's hit that one down the ground as well. Another short delivery from Warne. This is unlike him at 6. That's a huge hit. I thought that was going to bounce 2 or 3 times. It just kept going and going. The Guru Singh is at his porridge.
Well, I thought he slightly mishit it. It was just going up in the air, but it went up in the air all right. He kept on going. He certainly likes it short. Not too good when it's pitched up, but he's belted that again. Gone a long way.
Have a look at that. That just kept coming. And watch Guru's face, yeah. He just looked up again, and it just kept sailing over the boundary. Oh, and another loose delivery, and that'll go. No, it won't. That's very well fielded. No ball called as well. Rifle really did very well to cut that one off. He came across that outfield. Looks to me to be pretty damp now. Guru Singh beginning to cut loose, giving Shane Warne a bit of hammer.
Yeah, you don't often see him bowl 2 balls short, then 1 wide down the leg side.
So we're getting near to the halfway mark here. 112 for 2. Isn't he playing well? 43 or 45. Oh, that's very well played. He's got that away fine. That'll go for 4. That was a bad delivery, but it had to be played well, and he played a beautiful little leg glide. The fieldsman down there wide, so 4 all the way.
Yes, it wasn't such a great ball down leg side, but it's a batsman who knew exactly where the field was placed. And he just played a touch shot, just nicely glancing it fine, and letting the ball run away with pace. He knew exactly where the fielder was placed, wide on the leg side.
That one's short outside off stump. Not a very good shot from Guru Singh, straight to backward point. Just trying to hit that one just a little hard. So he's got on to 49. He's done very well. 73 balls. And that's it. He's half century. Well, he had a few close calls early on, but Asanka Guru Singh has made a half century here in the World Cup final when it really mattered.
Yes, he's not the most elegant player, but he's very effective, and he's done it when it matters in a pressure situation. Right. Beautiful shot. Width again, you see, as I was saying when Sri Lanka were bowling. Give the batsman width. When you're bowling slow, you've got problems. 50 for De Silva, an elegant 50. 2 half centuries then for the not-out batsman. Put Sri Lanka in a good position. What they've got to do now is keep the wickets intact and don't throw that initiative away.
Well, what a victory this will be for Sri Lanka if they get there. They won't be counting their chickens just yet, but they had a tough time down in Australia. And having lost the World Series to them, I'll reckon this will be justice. Let's have a look at the feet, see if they slip. Have a look at that front foot go. Yeah, I think a little bit of dampness there. Those are lovely pictures. He slipped a couple of inches there. That's pretty difficult. Off the edge, and that's a 100 partnership. Well, it could end up being the match-winning partnership. Aravinda De Silva is playing magnificently in this match, followed by that great knock of his in the semi-final. What a hero he'll be down in Sri Lanka. In fact, I know that he's not going to be spending too much time there on the way back, because he's coming down to Australia to play in a World 11 down there against this Australian team. I'll be tired of the sight of him, I tell you. They're going long neck and neck, 51 apiece at the moment. Short delivery, smashed away square. Fieldsman back there'll cover it. There's a fumble. They still settle for 1. They only know one way though, Fari. There's a pretty aggressive streak in these Sri Lankans.
Yeah, well, I think you can be positive, and you should be. That's the way they play. But I don't think you want to be gung-ho. It's a matter of keeping your cool, mentally thinking your way through situations. I think they've come of age better than they used to be. Very mature now.
He's hit that in the air. This will be out caught. Yes, he's gone. Oh, he's dropped it. I don't believe it. Stuart Law's down there. That's got to be the World Cup gone. I cannot believe that you can drop a straightforward catch like this. That was hit straight down his throat. These Sri Lankans have got to the Aussies. That was a straightforward lollipop catch. Have a look at this.
Well, for good fielders, which most of the Australians are, that is as straightforward as you'll get in the deep. Didn't have to move too far. The ball came fairly straight at him, comfortable height. Long time to see it.
Well, what a giveaway that was. In the air for a long, long time. Hit both of his hands and just popped straight out.
See, this is a captain's nightmare. Good bowling change, gets him a wicket, bringing Bevan on, and the fielder drops a lollipop.
Singha is calling for some fresh gloves. May be part of the reason why he hasn't put away a couple of the loose deliveries. Now just rushing, says that he doesn't hold the bowler up for too long. It's rare that the opposition get any breaks against Australia because they field so well, but Sri Lanka have been fortunate tonight. Damien Fleming was the offender on the first occasion. Gurusingha lofting that one away, and as he slid into it, the ball just going straight through his hands.
Well, that really was a costly miss.
And he's bowled him. So a real loss of concentration there from Gurusingha, and that'll revive the Australians. Just what Sri Lanka didn't want.
Well, just what the doctor ordered as far as the Australians are concerned. Gurusingha had asked for a fresh pair of gloves. Really losing concentration here, giving rifle the charge, making no contact and having his off-stump peg back. Big blow for Sri Lanka, 148 for 3.
Captain comes out to join vice-captain, so Sri Lanka couldn't ask for anything better than to have their two senior men at the crease when the game is really on the line. But what Gurusingha has done by losing concentration and I think frustrating himself by not putting away loose deliveries, what he's done is revived Australia, and we saw how dangerous that can be in the semi-final. Gurusingha giving him the charge, really had lost concentration and got a bit frustrated. And he's off the mark with a boundary. He's got a very cool head, the captain. Let's see if he can keep it that way under World Cup final pressure.
Well, he got a lot of runs in the semi-final against India there. Again, opening the face of the blade at the very last minute. The man at third man is square, and he had absolutely no chance of stopping that.
And they should be looking for two. And a collision with Shane Warne. There's two easily now on the misfield.
Well, De Silva here actually sending Ranachunga back, slipping there and going straight into Shane Warne. And a rare misfield from Ricky Ponting, allowing him to come back for the second. And there again, Warne rubbing the ball. It gets wet when it goes out into the outfield.
Yes, I think you got an idea of what the ball is really like when you saw Shane Warne's face when the ball came back to him last time, and he's shaking the head now. Doesn't like it.
Well, it's never easy because he's one bowler who likes to give it a rip. And when it's wet and slippery, you can't do that.
That's the leg break. He'll be very lucky to get that one. Can't put much over a man who's smart enough to change from pints to half pints as his training method. Oh, Mark Waugh again. It's 156 for 3.
Beautiful stroke. Thought it was going for 4, and they didn't run quickly on the first one. Only finished up getting 2.
Well, really poor running was this. I mean, it went through. The guys had to turn around and chase it almost a few yards from the boundary rope. They're just running very sloppily. Should have been easy 3.
Mark Waugh is bowling, so they're trying to keep 2 of Shane Warne's overs for the end.
Yes, and while Australia are doing that, keeping their main spinner till the end, it's difficult to hit. If it gets tight, where Sri Lanka needs 6 or 7, Sri Lanka have to be smart enough to realise that. And I keep saying you can't allow Mark Waugh to bowl little slow, gentle, pretending off spinners and get away with it. Sharp. It's only 1. He's hitting the fielders too often, not getting any boundaries. And before they were going and piercing the fielders. The run rate's just slowing down because he's not able to get the 4s.
Beautifully placed.
Well, this is a very deft touch shot. Tried to whack it out of the ground, just waited for it and played it very fine. Beautifully played.
It's the sort of over Sri Lanka needed. 2 2s from the first 2 balls played.
That's right, 4 off the over. And the ball's now gone into the outfield, quite wet. Mark Waugh having to towel it down and wipe it very carefully so he can grip it.
Five from the first 3 balls, so Sri Lanka are well on target for what they need there.
I think what they have to do though is try and get that run rate just down to 5. They don't want to keep it up near 6 or even at 6. 5.5, just get it down to 5s if they can. Most people will be aware how difficult it was for the West Indies to hit Shane Warne in the last overs. I don't think it'll be any easier for Sri Lanka, so they don't want to leave themselves too many to get. when he's got a bowl at the death.
That's very well played. They'll need to play that short third man quite a bit finer. It wasn't a nick, it was a very, very good shot.
Really cute shot. Bit of class here. Wonderfully played. Lovely wrists. Let the ball come on. Waited and waited. Very smart work. First boundary for 8 overs. 10 off. Done it to perfection this over so far. Two, misfield. Ooh, that's a big over for Sri Lanka. Really big over, takes to 191 for 3.
Just out of reach, and they'll get runs for it. They might even get 3 if they move quickly enough.
Well, that was nearly, but not quite. Very smart bowling by Paul Rifle, tucking up the left-hander on his legs, and it nearly paid off. Just being chipped over Ricky Ponting. He's not too comfortable with the ball, tucking him up on his legs. It's a little nudge there, and it just got over, yeah. Well bowled. Nothing for a smart piece of bowling, that over at the left-hander.
So Shane Warne. That one's cut nicely away. They've got to sweep it back, so they'll get 1. Yes, and I suppose it's a sweet revenge too. The Australians gave them a pretty tough tour down in Australia. They pretty well enjoy this.
Yes, certainly. I'm sure if they could defeat the Australians, Sri Lankans certainly are going to enjoy this. But looking at it from the positive point of view, I think that Australian tour did so much for the Sri Lankans to get to where they are.
Certainly gave them a bit of strength of character. Battlers. They did very, very well down there, they did. This is Warne again. It's well played again. It's played just backward of square to be cut off. This crowd beginning to get involved now as they get closer and closer.
Aravinda De Silva, he's been playing so well. It's Lionel, the lone Sri Lankan supporter, being shouldered, and the Sri Lankans are just going raptures here. It's a tremendous atmosphere, this World Cup final.
Well, we've seen him run all around Australia supporting these guys. So that last single brought up the 50 partnership.
Aravinda De Silva and Ranatunga have been together on many Sri Lankan partnerships which really have brought them success. They're here together in this one too. It certainly is a good omen.
Ranatunga looking for one. Silva not interested that time.
De Silva, what a fine innings this has been. He's a man for the great big occasion, and he's certainly obliged.
He's got that one through the field, although the sweeper will pick it up again. They'll get 2. So what will they be doing down in Colombo at the moment? All huddled around TV sets, no doubt. The parties will be starting.
I'm certain everyone must be behind or watching a TV set at some point, Tony. I don't think any work is being done there, or anyone would be in bed. That's 200 for 3, Sri Lanka in 253 balls.
A little top edge on that one, but there's no one behind square apart from the man on the boundary, so 1 more to the total. 201 for 3. So that's the all-important figure down there, 41 runs needed, 48 balls remaining, and 7 wickets in hand. 5.12 required. This is Rifle's last over. 1 for 40, his figures, and that's a beautiful shot. That's caressed through the offside field. He's played a few of those today. His innings in the semi-final, repeated here in the final, have been a pleasure to watch.
What a glorious shot there by Aravinda de Silva. Certainly epitomizes his brilliance, the brilliance he's played with throughout this World Cup. Just caressing that one, letting the ball come into it and just leaning onto it, beating the infield. Beautiful position and picking the gaps with consummate ease.
37 or 47. And that's a beauty as well. What a shot. He's decided to finish this quickly. Aravinda de Silva is playing a gem of an innings. After all those years battling away, this is going to be the big prize for them.
What glorious batsmanship. One on the offside and then repeating a similar shot on the onside, just picking the gaps with beautiful placement, leaning onto it, letting the ball come into him and just giving the fielders absolutely no chance at all.
That was lovely timing and beautiful placement. Well, they really are on track now. 33 runs off 46 balls. Whacked away square on the leg side, all the way along the ground. There's a sweeper back there, so just one.
That's de Silva in all his glory. Absolutely brilliant batsmanship.
So just a single there off the third ball. And so 3 more to go. 2 lovely drives. 32 runs of 45 balls for the World Cup. What an innings this has been. 93 not out he is. Leg byes.
What a fine cup final this has been for Aravinda de Silva, following up his extremely good bowling performance with absolutely brilliant innings. One of the finest innings played by him in recent times.
Got that away, and it looked to me as if Warren should have caught that one. His head went up, he got a hand on it, and it's gone for 4. He hit it back at him pretty firmly. Warren normally very good off his own bowling. Let's have another look at this one.
The Australian fielding in this match has certainly been below par. The Australians normally catch anything in the air, and I think this perhaps is an accurate indication of the kind of day the Australians have had on the field. Pretty simple catch, hard hit, all right, but these are the kind of catches that Warren would take 9 times out of 10.
Yes, that was through him before he even realised it. Full toss in the air. This is going to be over the top. Yes, over the top for 6. He smashed him away for 6. These Sri Lankans are giving the Aussies a real hiding. 223 for 3. Australia made 241, and they're now going to win this easy.
Well, the fielder had come in a few yards from the boundary ropes, and this is a difficult one to hit. The full toss above the waist. The one below the waist you can control, but the one coming above the waist is difficult to hit. But Ranatunga put everything into it, and it has sailed over that fielder at square leg for a 6.
Down the ground, it's in the air, over the top. It won't quite get down to the fence. McGraw hovering underneath it. They go back for 2. 13 runs off the over, and that's the end of Shane Warne. 225 for 3. So I think Shane Warne doesn't feel too good. You can see the look on his face. He's not enjoying this at all. No wicket for 58. An economy rate of 5.8. So good against the West Indies, and yet no real impression here.
Well, McGrath will have to pull out something extraordinary to stop Sri Lanka from winning from this position. He's got two very well set Sri Lankan batsmen also with tremendous experience, and batsmen now with a fierce desire to take their team to a historic win.
He smashed that for 4 over the top of the infield, and into the fence it goes. Another 4 to Aravinda de Silva. 98 now.
Well, the Sri Lankans have known Aravinda can bat. They've also known that he is capable of chucking it all away. But this time he's played a calm, composed, very purposeful innings. And having seen that the fielders were brought into the circle, nobody to cover the square leg boundary, he's hit that uppishly but safely.
That takes him to 99.
What an innings this has been. He's played 2 crucial innings for Sri Lanka. The one in the semi-finals against India, when 2 wickets had gone in the first over. And now over here, he's 1 short of what would be a tremendous 100. He has 100 in the competition in the group matches, but this is probably the most important 100 he's got.
Yes, Clive Lloyd scored 100 in a World Cup final. Over the top and just through the fingertips again. Well, they haven't quite managed to get those catches to hand. They've dropped a couple of dollies, and there have been a few that have gone through fingertips.
The luck not running with the Australians. Sri Lanka 232 for 3. Well, there you see Bevan trying to get to that, just about getting his fingertips. The luck certainly not going the Australian way. But then Sri Lanka deserve all the luck because they've played so positively and so aggressively right throughout this tournament.
So Aravinda on strike. Aravinda on 99. 99 of 118 balls. What an innings. Clive Lloyd has made 100 in a World Cup final. So has Viv Richards. And that's it. This is going to be the 3rd. Oh, beautifully played. That's a great century. A great century made when the chips were down by a fantastic batsman. And that really does tell the story.
And just when one would have thought that he would get 100 with a bludgeoning shot, he has played as delicate a shot as one could imagine. Aravinda de Silva getting to that century with as fine a leg glance as one could hope to see. And what an innings this has been. Brilliant.
And that didn't bounce very much. Kept low outside off stump and wide given. So they're almost there. What a fairy tale this is turning out to be.
Arjuna Ranatunga a few years ago was in some strife with the Sri Lankan Cricket Board authorities, but he's come back very well after that. And celebrations already beginning. All the other Sri Lankan players out onto the boundary area.
That's it, all the way to the boundary for 4. What a victory for the Sri Lankans. A fantastic effort by them. Their players are charging out onto the ground. The Aussies shaking them by the hand. Little Murali Dhirana's arrived. What a year it's been for him. distraught at one end of his season, and here he is now in the winning team. They've taken out the World Cup.
And what a moment. Sri Lanka, world cricket champions.
Chappell, who's fought his way onto a packed podium to conduct the ceremony to crown Sri Lanka the 1996 World One-Day Champions.
Mark, excuse me, just one second. Mark, yeah, just bad luck. Just not enough runs, I guess, in the end.
Oh, yeah, a bit of both. I think we were just outplayed. I thought Arjuna's men played very well. They had a good game plan. We got off to a good start, which we don't always do against Sri Lanka, but they pegged us back well. They stuck to their game plan with the bowling and held their catches, which we didn't do, so they deserved their win.
Yes, that was rare, wasn't it, for Australians to drop a few catches?
Yeah, we seem to have a bad run with our hands in Pakistan. We can't seem to hang on to them over here, but no, so we were outplayed today and they deserved winners.
All right, well, thanks for the part that you and your team have played in the tournament.
Thank you, Ian. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Well, there's the losing captain of Australia, Mark Taylor. Now to present the award for the man of the match. We also call upon the chairman of ITC, Mr. Devashawa, to present £5,000 and a trophy to the man of the match, who is Aravinda de Silva. Aravinda. Yeah. Aravinda. Coming through here. Aravinda, well done. Aravinda. There is a check over the back here, mate. You won't get over there. Congratulations. That's a fabulous innings.
Thanks very much, Ian.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And some wickets to go with it. It's been a really memorable match for you.
Yeah, I think the boys who worked really hard right through the tournament, and I think it was my duty this time for the seniors to perform because it was an important game, the finals, and I think the seniors took their responsibility to the shoulders and performed very well, and the boys deserve a good win.
Okay, now I would like to call upon the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mrs. Benazir Bhutto, and she is going to present the winning cheque for £30,000 and the trophy to Arjuna Ranatunga. Arjuna. Prime Minister, would you like to go through? Arjuna, congratulations on a magnificent victory.
Thanks a lot, Ian. I think the boys played really well right throughout the tournament.
You had it in mind right from the start. You said all along that you wanted to have another crack at Australia. You've got your way, and you guys fought very hard.
I thought the boys played really well. I think I should thank the Pakistan public. I think they were really behind us right throughout the game. And I should thank Asa and Wasim. They are the ones who brought the side to Colombo when we were in trouble. And thanks a lot, Wasim and Asa. And we are very grateful to you. And thanks a lot. Back in Sri Lanka, I think everyone contributed a lot. Thanks a lot.